Many years ago, I visited Boscobel in Staffordshire, where there's an oak tree which Charles II hid in when he was on the run after the Battle of Worcester. With him was a man called Colonel William Carless. My great-grandmother's name was Carless, and I thought, we must be related. And so I tried tracing the family tree, but after years of research I found we're not related at all. But his was such an interesting story, I thought I would write about his life. And I decided that I would write it from the point of view of 9 different people who knew him, 9 witnesses. First was his brother John Carless, who struggled to keep the farm in Staffordshire running while William was away at war. Next was William's commanding officer, Colonel Thomas Leveson, who raised a regiment and described Carless as a very well-respected and capable soldier. In contrast, his wife Dorothy gives a more romantic and domestic view of him and makes us aware of the heartaches of the separations of war when he was away for months and even years. After that, a fellow royalist officer, Charles Gifford, gives an account of the disastrous battle at Worcester and how King Charles II was guided as a desperate refugee to Staffordshire. There at White Ladies, Richard Penderell took charge of the king, and he narrates how he tried to help King Charles reach Wales, walking for 2 nights through the dark, dangerous countryside. Even the king tells the story, and he tells about how he and the colonel hid in the oak tree in a brave and resourceful act of extreme loyalty. The colonel's son, who later became a Jesuit priest, tells of what happened when the king and Carless had to go into exile on the continent. The 8th witness is the colonel's nephew, Edward Carless. He tells us about the years when the king and Carless were living in exile on the continent, and when King Charles was restored, how Carless was hailed as a national hero who had saved the king. Lastly, our 9th witness, Father John Huddleston, describes the deathbed conversion of Charles II. The heroic colonel served under the Catholic monarch James, but suffered extreme disappointment. My book is based on thorough research of historical facts, but it is told as personal stories, showing how the events affected the people of that time. It gives an insight into the lives and hardships of some of Staffordshire's ordinary people in the 17th century, who were so convinced of their beliefs that they were ready to face imprisonment or death. Above all, it is the story of an honourable and trustworthy man who was a hero, William Carless.